Inside No.9, which Matt mentioned earlier, is up for a Craft Award. Is back for a second series. You may remember that actually this second series was commissioned by the Beeb before the first one had gone out, so they had faith in it. The second series began with an episode called La Couchette. It's always nice for us to speak a bit of German on the podcast, I think. And it featured Mark Benton, Jack Whitehall, Jessica Gurning from What Remains. She was in the cellar the whole time. Julie Hesmontal of Corrie. And of course, Steve Pemberton and Reece Shearsmith, the men behind Inside No.9. The premise here is that these people are all on a sleeper train going through a European country. I forget which.
France?
Yeah.
The Mark Benton and Julie Hesmonhoff. How do you say it?
I don't know. Jules.
Julie Hesmonhoff.
Hayley without a penis.
Playing a couple who were going to their daughter's wedding in Paris. Reece Shearsmith is playing a doctor
who's got an important interview. We don't know the origins of Steve Pemberton's character, at least at the beginning. Jack Whitehall is playing Jack Whitehall, who gets on the train and tries to stow away without a ticket. What I have always liked about any of the Inside No.9s, and there were good ones and there are not so good ones, but what I like about the whole strand is that the whole time you're not really sure where the story is going. You've got these people sort of huddled together on a passenger train in close proximity. Then this guy dies, so it's a bit of murder on the Orient Express. No one's been in or out of the room, so who's killed him? Has he been killed? Has he just died? Do they tell anyone? If they tell anyone, does that mean the train will get stopped and they'll miss their final destinations? And the whole time you go, well, all very good, you've only got half an hour, where is this going to go? We get a resolution. Now, if you haven't seen the episode, I don't want to spoil the ending for you, so look away now. Shearsmith's character is looking forward to this important interview he's got. We learn in the final moments of the episode that the guy who was killed, Reece Shearsmith killed him, presuming that he was his rival in the interviews. But we later learn in the last minute of the show that it's actually Steve Pemberton's awful farting character that it is actually.
Which I thought was
rival.
A good twist. I get
twist.
the impression that with these, they almost try and work backwards. Because I always feel like there's that sense of unease when you finish watching it because of the twist. I mean, we've both seen the second episode with Sheridan Smith as well, where I got a similar, feeling after it had ended. I think I know what you're going to say on this, but I think I liked it more than you did. I think Jack Whitehall to me was the element that didn't quite work with it. He seems to be there to up the celeb count. I thought Julie and Mark's couple were believable as this, these normal down to earth people who were on their way to the daughter's wedding. I didn't have as much of a problem with Pemberton's character's flatulence as you did. I know it's a bit sort of base humour, but again, this is a comedy at the end of the day, so...
What, and you liked Matt, you liked farting?
There wasn't...
We haven't got this far.
There wasn't there wasn't too much of it. It didn't happen constantly. It wasn't overdone, I don't think, and I think you think it was.
I know you know that I think this, but for the purposes of people who aren't us and may listen to the podcast, Reece Shearsmith isn't that good as an actor. That's difficult for me to say because I've only really seen of their things. I've only Inside No.9 and subsequently The Widower and Cherishing Shadows are the only things of Reece's that I've seen, so maybe I shouldn't say such a derogatory comment, but I always think you can tell that Pemberton and Shearsmith have got great minds. I mean, they write this, they have to have,
Mm.
but the characters he plays always seem a little bit too similar to
They're
me.
all
And
well. I think they're all a bit sort of cold and detached, and he can't. I'm trying to think of like a warmer. I mean, in League of Gentlemen, he played the only sort of normal character who was Benjamin. But I mean, I think I like him more than you because I mean, I followed their career
yeah,
through
yeah,
League of Gentlemen, through Psychoville, and I
mm,
think Reese's characters. You know, he's done a lot of the sort of the female characters. He
mm,
played Maureen Sourbutt in Psychoville. I think he did really well in that. I think he has got a bit more range than you give him credit for, but certainly in terms of the characters he's played in Inside No.9 and in The Widow and Chasing Shadows, they're all quite cold,
yeah.
detached characters who you can't relate to, whereas Pemberton's are a bit warmer and a bit, you know, he gets a bit more life out there, a bit more sort of thing. But again, in this particular episode, it worked, and I think they sit down and go, you know, if we've got a series character, then Reese is going to play him. If we've got a more sort of, you know, a character, a German guy who's going to fart all the time, Steve's going to play him. Mm.
I think if this was episode 7 of series 1, for example, it wouldn't be one of my favourite
No.
episodes of
I mean,
the
I don't
series.
think we like the sardines episode that much. And again, this
No.
sort of rings. I think there's a lot of similarities. There's that, and there's also the one with the balloon from the last series. Those are the two that I would equate this first episode of series 2 to,
Yeah.
in terms of there's this thing about, you know, we could stop the train, but, you know, there's this reason, there's this reason. You know, everyone
But
doesn't want the
I
train to
do
stop.
like the fact that, it's half an hour, it's a very well paced half an hour,
Yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
sometimes in half an hour things you think, well, hang on, they've got 15 minutes left and they haven't told us the story yet. And this just, they tell that story really well, it's well paced. I like the air of ambiguity, you don't quite know what you're seeing or what it's truly about. But yeah, I think Inside No.9, as you say, we've seen episode 2 now, we've both got um, feelings about that that we will discuss. I've also now seen episode 3, which I wasn't a massive fan of